You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Different style show today. Obviously, free agency is a big focal point right now, but I did want to look at some extension candidates for the Cowboys. These are players who are still under contract, who could be getting at least somewhat significantly new large deals. 5 players in mind, beginning with the probably most controversial. Fair or not, that's how it works when you're the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Everyone loves to hate you and or loves you. There's not much in between. That's just how it goes. That's Dak Prescott. The Cowboys have said publicly they want to extend Dak, which we heard for 3 years. We're going to get a deal done. And they didn't get a deal done and cost themselves quite literally $10 million per year by waiting. Prescott carries a $49 million cap hit this year. And you don't want or need it that high. It's very easy to get out of that deal short term. You can restructure it, bring that number down significantly to where it's much more in line with the fake number of, well, the salary cap percentage, whatever. But a restructure only would put more money into 2024 and into 2025. And that's fine if you're going to treat this as an all-in prove-it year, because then you take the bad money and you actually rebuild. Or if you're like, I'm just going to ride with my top 10 quarterback, the smart thing to do is to extend him. Now, I haven't seen it mentioned. I'm actually a little bit worried about the injury history, hoping that stays away. But Bobby Belt has suggested the number for Dak could be around $46 million. In the event that number actually is $46 million, that should be very appealing to Cowboys fans out there. Let's say it beats Kyler Murray. Let's say it's $46.2 million. You make him the 3rd highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, the Rodgers deal is weird, but remember, we're all worried about the lack of playoff success, right? And I understand that because we're frustrated because, fair or not, Dak's getting 27 years worth of franchise playoff ineptitude loaded up onto his shoulders. Also worth mentioning that Dak has had more playoff success than Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, and Lamar Jackson have had combined. But we always credit Dak because he's the Cowboys quarterback. And remember this part too. Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, and Hurts, whenever they sign their deals this year, next offseason maybe for Lamar, will surpass that Dak Prescott franchise figure. So you make him the 3rd highest paid quarterback right this second, and quite literally within a week even, he's no longer a top 5 highest paid QB. That's actually very team-friendly for what the reality of the quarterback market is at this point. So you can be honest with me, and I know not everyone will agree. It's fine. It's America. Do you want to extend Dak Prescott for America's team? Y for yes, N for no. It is the pinned comments of today's video. Head down there and vote. I get the sticker shock. $46 million is a lot of money. But if that's what it actually is, I am in on that figure. That is a below-market deal for a top 10 quarterback. That is significantly cheaper than if Dak wanted to play hardball, which, by the way, he can, because there is a no franchise tag clause and a no trade clause in his deal. If Dak wanted to play hardball with your organization and he's like, I just don't want to be in Dallas anymore, he could play hardball and put you in a tough spot because you put him in a tough spot by waiting all those years ago. I would like some urgency from the Cowboys. I am worried about the Stephen Jones-Todd France relationship, if I'm being honest here, because that was a bit of a dumpster fire a couple of years ago. Hopefully things are better now, but there's really no guarantee of that. If the number is, let's just say $46.5 million, market only goes up. Dak's not top 5 anymore. He'd last even shorter as a top 5 QB if you actually showed urgency for the first time in a long time with some of your better players. Today's Cowboys Report is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health and I wanted something that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. Once I have baby Olivia set up with her breakfast, I make my own AG1. I don't feel the need for caffeine in the morning anymore, and I feel energized throughout the day. Plus, AG1 empowers the gut for whole body health. Covering my nutritional basis today literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I like that it costs less than $3 a day. It's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients, making it a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. The link's in the comments and the description of today's video. It's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. The next extension candidate will probably be much more unanimously received. CeeDee Lamb, the star wideout, is now extension eligible, and I think it's actually a relatively speaking easy deal to figure out what the rough ballpark of numbers are here. CeeDee Lamb shares the same agent as DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, and A.J. Brown. All 3 guys who recently signed mega extensions. Now, the Cowboys, if they need it, have the 5th-year option. I don't know what more you would want to see out of Lamb, especially the way he and Dak played together, well, I should say Lamb played, down the stretch. Yeah, there were some drop issues, but this, folks, is what you want to see out of your young number 1 receiver. Getting better each and every single year. The catches, the yards, the touchdowns, all of them went up and rose in the way that we want to see them rise. Now, CeeDee Lamb in the end unquestionably will become one of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. It's a matter of what that number exactly looks like here. But it is worth mentioning that we know where DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, and Deebo Samuel fall in that highest paid wide receiver tier hierarchy. Because that gives great insight to factor in, okay, the salary cap has gone up, what the number looks like. My proposal is a 4-year, $104 million deal for CeeDee Lamb. It's $26 million per year. $60 million guaranteed. It's just a little bit more than what Brown and Metcalf and Deebo got. It slots him in as a top 5 highest paid wide receiver. The agent says, I keep getting my young guys paid a little bit more than the last guy. And I think as long as the Cowboys don't lowball Lamb, that deal should be relatively easy to get done. Given what Lamb has done, what A.J. Brown has done over the course of their careers, fairly similar production so far, cap's gone up, pay him a little bit more. Should be a pretty easy deal to get done. Plus, you have the 5th-year option. That deal can be backloaded salary cap-wise, not going to cost you that much in the short term. Now, if you want to be very informed on the salary cap stuff, it's complicated, I know, but we've got you covered here at the Cowboys Report. News, rumors, updates, and more. It's your one-stop shop for everything Cowboys related. Hit that sub button right now. Trevon Diggs, next up here. He is extension eligible, and my question mark here is just how close the 2 sides are really going to be on the money. There is no 5th-year option on Diggs as a 2nd-round pick, but the franchise tag is available as an option in the event Dallas needs it. Trevon Diggs' interception numbers went down this year, and I'm okay with that. It's funny. Everyone made a big deal over the claim of 1,000 yards allowed. I'm using Pro Football Reference numbers. No, he didn't. And most yards allowed as a receiver. And no one can tell you who had the most yards allowed this year. It wasn't a Cowboys player, and big media didn't care about it anymore. The completion percentage went up, but the yards went way down because when Diggs got beat, it was mostly short stuff, which is fine. That's not the worst thing to get beats on there. A couple of missed interceptions that really hurt because for a player of Diggs' caliber, we actually count drops against him, that's just how it works. Now, the money is interesting here. I would bet Diggs asks for top-end corner money. We're talking Denzel Ward money, $20 million. And I would bet the Cowboys could go, J.C. Jackson got $16.5 million, and you put up very similar numbers. Why don't we give you a little bit more than J.C. Jackson? And that's a difference of at least $3 million a year, which shouldn't be that big of a deal. But for Dallas, it always is. And I would just wonder if maybe that's the one that causes some issues for good old Catboy. So of the two picks who worked out great so far for Dallas, which deal gets done first? TD for Trevon Diggs or CD for CeeDee Lamb? Get those predictions in for me in the comments section. As of now, I'm actually going to lead CD. I think that's a pretty easy one to finish up. Let's move to a under-the-radar dark horse here. Tyler Biadasz. Solid starter this season. He's now in the final year of his contract. But I wonder if Biadasz really counts in the good enough to pay in advance and lock him in as your starting center for the next couple of years at minimum. The numbers aren't bad. Didn't allow a sack this year. Much better production than what it was last year. But the run grade was not that elite. I think Biadasz is a starting caliber center. I think you could potentially find another starting caliber center. And do you want to pay Biadasz $9 million a year? Because that's the low end of what the market looks like. I think he's better than Mitch Moore, so I think that's $10 million. Do you want to pay $10 million to Tyler Biadasz right now? Maybe he takes a very team-friendly deal, in which case, different conversation. But I think for the cost of what it would probably be, probably a little bit higher than what you're really comfortable doing when it comes to Biadasz and the Cowboys. You also have to trust the Cowboys and obviously do the right thing, because they've missed on a lot of these extensions. They were late on DeMarcus Lawrence. They were late on Amari Cooper. They were late on Dak Prescott. They were early on La'el Collins, on Jalen Smith, on Zeke Elliott. Kind of missed their last 6 big moves there. That's a huge concern. So what is your confidence level in this Cowboys when it comes to self-scouting? 1 to 10 in the comment section. Here's my outlandish, not maybe outlandish, but out-of-the-box, unconventional one. Tyron Smith. Allow me to explain that this is basically the DeMarcus Lawrence extension, but it's really a pay cut disguised as an extension for Tyron Smith. When healthy, starting caliber tackle, and those guys are super expensive. Now, he's aging and not often healthy, and I wonder if he wants to play anywhere but Dallas. I think he's kind of a Dallas or bust guy. So if he wants to keep playing, the contract must look different. Tyron now has a $17.6 million cap hit. You can save $9.6 million by cutting him. $13.6 post June 1st, a good amount of money to save there, but you're pushing money off in the future, / you don't have him anymore. In the event you want to add an impact player like a Tyron Smith, or keep Tyron Smith, I should say, I think you can get creative with the contract and really make it a full-on pay cut from that team. So here's my idea for Tyron Smith. It's an extension that's a little bit disguised. It's a 3-year, $27 million deal, $14 million guaranteed. So most of the money he gets this year becomes guaranteed. And in reality, it's a significant pay cut as an out after 1 year. So the details are this. His cap hit drops to under $10 million. So you're saving about what you would save if you cut him. Now, you're doing that by putting some money off in the future. He has a $14.5 million cap hit next year. You could cut him, though, and save $5.45 million. He's got an $11 million deal in 2025. Cap hit-wise, it's actually a lot more base salary since some of your leftover extension money no longer counts. That's why the cap hit is so different, despite the base salary being $6 million more in 2025 than it is in 2024. So he's not making that much more money. It's $3 million salary in 2023, $4 million in 2024. You can cut him, though, and it kind of becomes a 1-year deal where you can bail as early as you need to in the event he needs to retire. So it's an extension, but it's really a major pay cut when it's all said and done for Tyron Smith. It's a more extreme version of that Tank Lawrence extension that kept him on the Cowboys, but brought his money and cap hit down significantly to help out the team and still get to be a member of the Cowboys long term.